Well, we've got details of these and more coming up in the next 20 minutes if you spend your time with me. Remember, we are live on DSTV channel 279. Let's begin with politics, shall we? More new Patriotic Party MPP flag bearer aspirants are expected to submit their nomination forms at the party headquarters today. That's Monday, June 19. And Boache Ejakon and former Trade Minister Kofi Konedu-Apreku are among those expected to storm the party headquarters and submit their nominations. Two leading members, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the recently retired Trade Minister Alan Kojo Tremantin, submitted their nominations last week. The deadline for anybody who wants to participate in the MPP primaries is set on Saturday, June 24. However, those who have picked up their nomination papers since May 26 have already started completing the procedure. At least 10 people have picked up nomination forms to run in the MPP internal elections thus far. Well, the team will pitch campaign today at the MPP headquarters in Accra and surely finish with updates in our subsequent bulletins. Let's still stay on politics. The popularity of Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia with the New Patriotic Party appears to be on the rise. Right after filing his nomination form, the Vice President moved straight into action by starting a tour of the Greater Accra region with visits to Nima in Ayawaso East and La in the Ladadi-Kotopon constituencies. Then on Saturday, the Vice President continued his tour to Sege, Adan, Katamanso and Ashaman constituencies where he interacted with party delegates. One characteristic of the visit is the massive show of love from party members in all the constituencies he visited. In many of these constituencies, members arrive hours before the scheduled arrival time of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in obvious support of his presidential bid. And away from politics, African leaders have been tasked to actively empower local enterprises to promote value addition to locally produced goods across the continent to reduce the overdependency on donor support. President of the African Business Council, Dr. Amani Asfor, decried the persistent export of expensive raw goods to the European markets, which serves as a source of cash for them. Dr. Asfor made the call at the media launch of the second Africa Priority Dialogue here in Accra.
We are here in Ghana with the lovely cocoa, and then chocolate is done outside the continent. The chocolate industry is $127 billion per year, while Africa is exporting all its cocoa industry by several billions only. Ghana is exporting by about 325 million cocoa, which is not at all compared to the huge industry of chocolate in the world. So product development means made in Africa product that is strong, quality, standardized, value added. Because if we want to trade among ourselves, it's not only because it's African, but it's because it's quality and standardized. And that's also standardization and harmonization for registration of our African product is a huge importance. That's why we'd love during the second Dialogue of Africa Prosperity Network that we take into consideration how we really harmonize a product. So if we have pharmaceuticals on the continent, we don't have to register every product in every country. We need to harmonize the standards. One is once it is registered in one country, then it is registered in the whole continent. If we are not doing that, so unfortunately we are not realizing the Africa we want.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the first bulletin of the day here on TV3Newday with me, George Quinnan. We're live on DSTV, channel 279. In more news this morning, drug addicts are always looking for alternatives. The latest, which is gradually spreading silently, is the sniffing of glue, especially among the youth. In TV3's latest documentary, High on Glue, which airs on Wednesday, June 21, Godwin Asidiba meets with addicts who are hooked onto the inhalation of harmful substances. Here are highlights of the documentary.
It's very hot and it goes straight into your head. You have to close your eyes before inhaling it because it has a strong dizziness effect.
Me feel happy. Papa was scar.
I enjoyed the euphoria it comes with. My dad was well-to-do, but he abandoned me when I was in school. It made me sad and led me to joining bad friends.
Started actually there.
I started sniffing glue 2 years ago.
2 years. Me I'm over 12 years. Until I'm 19 years.
It's early morning, a few blocks away. Sitting on a stool in front of a mud house is a young man probably thinking of how to start his day. I am told by residents here that he has an addiction problem. He's hooked on sniffing glue and smoking marijuana. It takes some time convincing him to open up to me for an interview. I spent some time around the area searching for more people addicted to sniffing glue. After some minutes, I spot a familiar face. It's Destiny with a friend. My curiosity and investigative skills set in. I wanted to know what they purchased from the shop. My suspicions were confirmed. It was glue. I decided to track them.
Well, that's an interesting development there. The full interview airs on Wednesday, June 21. Do make a date and follow us on all our social media platforms as well, TV3 Ghana. The University of Cape Coast has been ranked the #1 university in Ghana and West Africa, #4 in Africa, #24 globally for research influence. The Times Higher Education World University Rankings for 2023 placed UCC among the top 400 universities globally.
The University of Cape Coast over the years has grown to be a center of excellence, making waves in all fields of higher education. The university has over the years mentored many institutions to train successfully students according to required standards, placing it in high demand for cutting-edge and innovative programs in most of the health disciplines.
And as indicated by the Times Higher Education World University Ranking, it is the #1 university in Ghana, #1 university in West Africa, #4 in Africa, #24 globally for research influence, and among top 400 universities globally.
Some of these programs are optometry, pharmacy, physician assistantship, medical laboratory, biomedical sciences, medical diagnostic and sonography, nursing and midwifery, sports and exercise science, nutrition and dietetics, and health information system.
The focus is not only on Ghanaian students but other nationals as well. Let me also emphasize that University of Cape Coast provides the best mentorship service in the country. Currently, several institutions are knocking on the doors of UCC for affiliation due to the quality of services we offer our affiliate institutions.
One of the affiliates is the Ophthalmic Nursing, Public Health Nursing and School of Peri-Operative and Critical Care Nursing Schools at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and offer post-basic nursing training.
Post-basic nurses are essential in strengthening healthcare services in Ghana. Their expertise, compassion, and dedication enable them to address various healthcare challenges and make a significant impact on the well-being of individuals and communities.
The 6th joint graduation was on the theme, the role of post-basic nurses in strengthening healthcare services in Ghana, highlighting the invaluable contributions of these dedicated healthcare professionals to our nation's health sector.
In more news this morning, Queen Mothers of Kusok traditional area have condemned the attack on a Fulani lady in the area. Meanwhile, 4 people arrested in connection with the incident have been taken into police custody.
The victim is currently undergoing psychological treatment. The Queens were at the Upper East Regional Police Command in Bolgatanga to show solidarity with the young lady who was beaten at Kopela, a suburb of Benaba in the Boko West district. The leader of the delegation, Elizabeth Alale, who represented the paramount queen of the Kusak traditional area, decried the situation.
We and the Fulanis, we are one. The full base, we are one. But yet, we don't know what is happening. So we are just here looking for peace. And we are advising the youth, whatever they see or they hear, at least they should always be careful. Reacting to certain things will not help. And if something happens, whether you are there or not, don't try to run there to want to go and verify what was happening.
The president of the Fulani Youth Association of Ghana, Ahmed Barry, praised the effort of the Queens and urged the police to ensure justice for the victim.
It's unfortunate that this thing has happened. They've shown that it is not only a Fulani woman, but a daughter to all of them. We are all into this together. We trust that the security are doing very well and they will make sure that there will be justice for our sister, our daughter.
Still in northern Ghana, the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council has been advised to take action to ensure sustainable land usage and tackle desertification. Sand mining and charcoal burning pose serious risks to environmental sustainability in the Upper West region.
By 2050, it is predicted that more than 75% of the world's population will be impacted by droughts. In the Wa municipality, the farming town of Sing is well known for its sand mining and charcoal production. Here, the degree of land degradation is commonplace. Osman Abudu, a farmer in Sing, is concerned about the impact of sand mining and charcoal burning on the environment. The destruction of economically important trees like shea and dawa for the production of charcoal is another issue.
A bag of shea nut, when you load it, will give you maybe 600. And a bag of charcoal is 80 cedi. One shea nut tree cannot full one bag unless you cut 2 or 3. But if you have 3 shea trees in your farm and you are picking them, at the end of the season, you can get 2 or 3 bags of shea nut.
This year's World Day to combat desertification and drought highlighted investing in women's equitable access to land and restoration goals.
This is because as much as we know issues of land, much of it is focused on the male counterparts, but we know women are majority, and particularly for those of us around the Savannah area, we know how much land means to our women.
Acting Upper West Regional Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Emmanuel Legno, warned against unsustainable sand mining.
In an area where sand is not mined sustainably, it can take as long as you can imagine for restoration to take place, where there are no trees.
The head of the Department of Environment and Resource Studies at the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, Dr. Abdul Kadri Yahya, noted fighting desertification and drought is a shared responsibility.
I personally think that if you do more than what we have done so far, I think desertification as well as drought can be curtailed.
Well, let's know what you make of stories that have been aired so far. Just visit our website, 3news.com. Drop your comments and contributions, and we'll surely read them and share them to the rest of the world. And now to finance. Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, has affirmed there will be a second round of domestic debt exchange program. And speaking to the media in Accra, the sector minister noted the need to create more fiscal space to speed up the recovery process as the economy is showing signs of stability.
Domestic debt exchange, if the question it's about cocoa bills, that's for sure. We're going to do that. About the domestic debt, the US dollar denominated domestic debt, we are going to do that. So that's for certain.
Ken Ofori-Atta is of the view government activities on the treasury bills market is not defeating the purpose of the domestic debt exchange program.
Not when you have moved from 35% to 20%. Do you get me? So you are gradually finding a way in which you are reducing the rates. It can't just kind of drop like that. But that's a huge change of 15.5 percentage points. And as our revenue base gets stronger, we should be able to reject prices that do not fit the bill. But it will take a while to gradually bring it to where we can support it in the long term.
Ken Ofori-Atta is the Minister of Finance. And now the efforts of 376 frontline health workers during the COVID-19 pandemic in the Upper West region have been rewarded. The region recorded 996 cases, 46 deaths, with 74 healthcare professionals surviving it.
The Upper West region was the third to record the COVID-19 case occurring at the same time as the Greater Accra and Ashanti regions. The pandemic shut down the world for 3 years, 5 months and a few days, but the resilience, commitment and professionalism of the healthcare workers were evident.
Out of the 990 cases reported in the region, 72 were health workers. Fortunately for us, there was no death reported of any health worker as a result of this disease.
The Upper West Regional Coordinating Council celebrated deserving health workers for their selfless contributions to the pandemic.
You have done what Napoleon couldn't do, but please, we should not let the recipients be complacent. It should spur you on to give up your best to our region.
Dr. Hafiz bin Silla hoped the Agenda 111 projects would improve healthcare delivery and prepare the region for future challenges.
There's one in Golu, one in Lambuse for Lambuse district, and Wichao for Wa West district. I want to assure you that government is committed to ensuring that all the 5 projects are completed.
The awardees were delighted to receive recognition.
Kudos to these gallant professionals. And now to the foreign front. Malians have voted into a referendum on changing the constitution that the military rulers and regional powers have said will pave the way to elections and a return to civilian rule. Presidential elections are scheduled for February 2024. Some of the changes in the committee-drafted constitution are contentious, with proponents saying they would strengthen fragile political institutions and opponents saying they would give too much power to the president. The military government, which seized power in coups in 2020 and 2021, promised to hold the plebiscite as part of transition to democracy under pressure from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS.